You have seen the hell, where the souls of poor sinners go. To save them, God wishes to establish in the world devotion to my Immaculate Heart. If what I say to you is done, many souls will be saved, and there will be peace. The war is going to end, but if people do not cease offending God, a worse one will break out during the pontificate of Pius XI. When you see a night illumined by an unknown light, know that this is the great sign given you by God that He is about to punish the world for its crimes by means of war, famine, and persecutions of the Church and of the Holy Father. To prevent this, I shall come to ask for the consecration of Russia to my Immaculate Heart and the communion of reparation on the first Saturdays. If my requests are heeded, Russia will be converted and there will be peace. If not, she will spread her errors throughout the world, causing wars and persecutions of the Church. The good will be martyred, the Holy Father will have much to suffer, various nations will be annihilated. In the end, my Immaculate Heart will triumph. The Holy Father will consecrate Russia to me and she will be converted, and a period of peace will be granted to the world. Then Our Lady gave the children a prayer. When you recite the Rosary, say at the end of each decade, When Our Lady gave the third secret, Our Lady told Lucia not to tell anyone about the secret at this time except to Francisco. Many years later, the third secret was written by Lucia on January 3 in the year 1944 and was placed in an envelope and was not opened until the year 1960. Although the envelope was opened in the year 1960, the secret was not made public until the year 2000, when the Vatican released the text that Lucia had written. I write in obedience to you, my God, who command me to do so through His Excellency, the Bishop of Leiria, and through your most holy mother and mine, after the two parts which I have already explained. At the left of Our Lady, and a little above, we saw an angel with a flaming sword in his left hand. Flashing, it gave out flames that looked as though they would set the world on fire, but they died out in contact with the splendor that Our Lady radiated towards him from her right hand. Pointing to the earth with his right hand, the angel cried out in a loud voice, Penance, penance, penance. And we saw in an immense light, that is God, something similar to how people appear in a mirror when they pass in front of it. A bishop dressed in white. We had the impression that it was the Holy Father. Other bishops, priests, men and women religious, going up a steep mountain, at the top of which there was a big cross of rough hewn trunks, as of a cork tree with a bark. Before reaching there, the Holy Father passed through a big city, half in ruins and half trembling with halting step. Afflicted with pain and sorrow, he prayed for the souls of the corpses he met on his way. Having reached the top of the mountain, on his knees at the foot of the big cross, he was killed by a group of soldiers who fired bullets and arrows at him. And in the same way there died, one after another, the other bishops, priests, men and women religious, and various lay people of different ranks and positions. Beneath the two arms of the cross, there were two angels, each with a crystal aspersorium in his hand, in which they gathered up the blood of the martyrs, and with it sprinkled the souls that were making their way to God. By this time, the news about the apparitions reached all the place, and the whole country knew about the Fatima apparitions. On this day, August 13th, the children were kidnapped on the morning by the mayor. The children were interrogated about the secret and were told to say that the apparitions were a lie. Despite the threats of death, the children refused to betray Our Lady, and the children said that they would rather die than tell a lie. The children were finally released on August 15th. On August 19th in the afternoon, the Virgin appeared to the children in a place called the Valin House near Fatima. Our Lady told them to continue to say the Rosary every day and again promised a miracle in October and said that the miracle would have been greater if they had not been kidnapped. Looking very sad, Our Lady said, Pray, pray very much, and make sacrifices for sinners, for many souls go to hell because there are none to sacrifice themselves and pray for them. On September 13th, the children and about 30,000 people were at the apparition place praying the rosary. Our Lady appeared and told the children, "Continue to pray the rosary in order to obtain the end of the war. In October, our Lord will come, as well as Our Lady of Sorrows and Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Saint Joseph will appear with the child Jesus to bless the world. God is pleased with your sacrifices." On October 13th, very large crowds began to arrive to Fatima from all directions. 70,000 people came to the place of the apparition, despite the terrible storm that lashed the mountain country around Fatima on the eve of 13th. The children then arrived at the noon, and after the customary flash, Our Lady appeared on the home oak tree. Lucia asked, "What do you want from me?" "I want to tell you that a chapel is to be built here in my honor. I am the Lady of the Rosary. Continue always to pray the Rosary every day. The war is going to end, and the soldiers will soon return to their homes. Do not offend the Lord, our God, anymore, because He is already so much offended." Then opening her hands, she made them reflect on the sun, and as she ascended, the reflection of her own light continued to be projected on the sun itself. After Our Lady disappeared, the people witnessed the predicted miracle. During this solar phenomena, the sun whirled and zigzagged, casting colors on the crowd, and it began to descend toward the earth. The 70,000 people assembled cried out in terror, thinking that it was the end of the world. After about 10 minutes, the sun returned to the sky. Many physical cures of the blind and the lame were reported. Countless public confessions of sin and commitments to conversion of life took place. The miracle is reported to have been seen from as far as 15 to 25 miles away, thus running out the possibility of any type of collective hallucination or mass hypnotism. No such phenomenon of the sun was reported anywhere in the world, and scientists were unable to explain it.